So we're going to start off with modelling the inside of a room. This can also be applied to the outside of a building, but we're going to look at the inside at the moment. So we're going to start off with a plane, and the plane is just a nice easy click and drag. If it comes up with wireframe while you're working, change it back to default shading just so you get the pictures in there. You might also want to display the selected with edged faces so you can see how many faces your object actually has. So there's my plane. That is going to be the floor of my room. I'm now going to change the standard primitives and go down to the AEC extended options. This gives us walls with which we can set doors and windows to interact with. Walls are fairly straightforward. They've got a set width, which is 5. They've got height, which is set at 96. You can change those. I'm just going to leave them as they are. So I'm going to click and drag and set my first wall. And then just click to place. And then moving the mouse and clicking at each corner, using my floor as a guideline to help set up the walls. So that automatically has filled in my corners. I haven't got this very straight. Obviously a little bit more time and turning the model would actually have made that a slightly better job. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to zoom out a little bit as well so we can see. Grabbing my move tool, there we go. So I've now got a room with walls and no way of actually getting into or out of this room. So I'm going to change my drop down list again, and this time I'm going to put a door in. And I'm going to do a pivot door because I like pivot doors. And I'm going to click and drag to set the width of the door. There is my depth. Now I know I want that to be just over 5, or just under 5, apparently. And I'm going to set the height of my door to that. There, that'll probably do. Grabbing my move tool, I can now move my door so that it sits happily in my wall. So if I turn it round, I can see where it's coming out at the other side. It's not bang on straight. Again, taking time, playing with the rotate tool, getting it set up, you will be able to get that to sit nice and snugly and tidily. But now I have my door set. A couple of door commands. You've got the option to have double doors or a single door. You can flip the swing. So if you open your door and it opens the wrong way, flip the swing. If you want your door to open on the opposite side, you can flip the hinge. Open at the bottom with the degrees. And there is the door opening and closing. So I know I want it to open into the room. So I'm going to flip my swing so that it opens in. Now we do have a problem where there is a wall in the middle of our door. So we get the select and link option and we click on our door and drag it to the wall. And that has now set an open door. Windows are done in exactly the same way, but from the Windows menu. So there are all sorts of different windows in here. I'm going to go for a pivoted window. It seems just to make some sense. So there is the outside of my window. The width or the depth, I'm going to look to get to just over 5. And there is my height. And same as with the door. That's simple, straightforward. Line it up, position the window in the wall. Grab the link tool, watch for the icon to change to 2 squares, and link it up. And then that, where that is now blue, after we've applied materials, will become our window. If it's not already set up, in the renderer setup, change from the scanline renderer to the NVIDIA Mental Ray for better materials to use. Right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to open the material editor and we're going to have a look at putting some materials into our window and our door. So the walls are dead easy for materials. We can just click and drag and drop. So that at the moment has grey walls. If I click on the diffuse, I can change the colour of the wall. And let's have some nice bluish coloured walls. Okay, it's actually slightly hideous with the colour of the floor. Colour of the floor, same thing. You can change the colour just by clicking on the diffuse colour and using the colour slide. Drag and drop to put that in there. Now for the slightly more complicated ones. So I'm going to click on this standard that's over here, which will open up this bit here. And from our material map browser, we're going to want to choose a multi/sub object. We can keep the old material, means we don't have to look for it again. So let's just click OK on there. You don't have to keep it, you can replace it, or you can use that to go into and edit. Now I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to use one of the Mental Ray settings. Somewhere in here there is some wood. Lots of different woods to choose from, as you can see as I scroll down. So I'm going to go with some nice pine for my door. And I'm just going to put it to render in the viewport, which is that one. This is your viewport for anyone who is either not aware or has forgotten. And then I'm just going to go back up. So there's one colour set. And then I'm actually going to set this to a different wood, which should do the interior of the door. So let's get a redwood in there. And I'm going to show that. I'm just going to come back up. I'm going to drag this over and apply it to my door. So now if I render my picture, might take a little while on the scan line. It's decided it wants my door to be black. Why has it decided that? So I've obviously missed something in here which is showing up as black, so I'm just going to add in, there we go, going to add in another one, show in viewport, and it's just a case of going through and seeing where they are. If they end up in the wrong position, you just switch the IDs around for these. So there we go, I've now got 4 different materials set up, and then now when I render my door, I have different types of wood shown on the door. The windows are actually the same general idea. So let's turn this around so we can see the windows. So we want another multi/sub object. When I remember that I'm in the wrong place. There we go. So another multi/sub object to go on there. I'm going to just discard the old materials this time. And I'm going to set up my first sub material. Now for this, I'm just going to do a standard material to start with. And I'm going to set this to white, with the generalized hope that this will be the outside of the frame when I put this in. I'm then going to grab my second material, and for my second material I'm going to come down to the material library down here, and I'm going to get some glass, and we're going to have some clear glass for that material. Let's drag that over and see if I've got the right sections, because we won't really necessarily see it until it's rendered. So let's have a quick look and see what we have with our window. Now this should be showing a white frame. And then the same as before, it's just a case of going through and finding out. So that's now changed that window. So it's a case of just going through the settings and finding out which ones are the ones that fit with what's already in there. You may also notice that there is some glazing set in there as well. Let's have some nice white porcelain. I have no idea why I'm putting this in there, but it might work. We'll see. So it's just a case of going through and filling up these sub-objects until you get the viewport looking as how you want it to look. So that's now got glass in it, and it is currently reflecting the door.